All my experience that I gained over the last 3 years flying drones is packed into this video. From beginner basics to advanced techniques, we will walk through 50 drone tips to help you become a better drone pilot. So welcome, I appreciate your time. Now let's start with tip number 1. Be patient. And this is actually the biggest tip of today. Instead of approaching a drone shot stressful or hectic, take yourself time, a few more seconds to set up a shot before you actually press record. Focus on a well-exposed, well-framed and balanced shot without any distraction. This will be your first game changer to achieve better results when flying a drone. Longer is better. What doesn't count for other aspects in life counts here for sure. Fly and hold a shot as long as possible. Whatever your situation offers, use the full range or distance and capture those 5 or extra 10 seconds. Trust me, this will be a huge reward in the edit if you hold a shot longer than you actually need. Composition and framing. The composition and framing of each and every shot is the most crucial part when flying a drone. Focus and concentrate yourself on the rule of thirds, make use of leading lines or specific characteristics of the location. If you combine at least 2 or 3 of those aspects in a single shot, then my friend, you won the game. Shot variety. Cover the same scene from multiple angles and capture multiple versions of them. And if there is enough time, try to round up the scene or the angle with different drone movements. Switching SD cards on different days. This is a big one. The last thing you want besides losing your drone is losing your data. When I was flying in Madeira or Mallorca, I always switched my SD cards every 1 or 2 days. This way, I avoid surprises and I won't lose all my captured footage when something happens. As you know, the devil never sleeps. So switch your SD cards, put them in a safe spot, and the next time you're flying, you will feel a lot better. Fly slow. I always achieved the best results when I was flying slowly and controlled. Unless it is your intention to do so, the last thing you want to see in a video are fast maneuvers or hectic movements. Another benefit of flying slow is a longer duration of each shot. And this also complements tip number 2, where we agreed that longer is better. Screen records on your controller. Recording your screen on the controller can have multiple benefits. You can recheck specific drone settings in different situations. You could use them for tutorials like I do in my videos, but even better, you can also use them for the future to see what you did right or wrong during a flight. Know everything about your drone. This is obvious but super important. Learn your drone and your controller in and out. What I mean by that is that you want to learn how the drone actually operates. Study the app with all its settings, navigate through the menu, know all the buttons on your controller, learn what these buttons actually do, know all the messages that could pop up on your screen. You get the point. Be ready to sweat. From experience I can tell you that it is inevitable to be confronted with sweaty situations. Things like forced landing or connection losses will happen all the time. So just that you know, be ready for that. Underexposing rather than overexposing. A huge tip, which also counts for cameras in general, is to rather under than overexposing your image. It's always easier to boost up your shadows than to recover blown out highlights. Flying low. Flying drones doesn't mean you always have to be high up in the air. Low shots can really give a unique feeling to your shot, and since everything appears faster, it's also a great way to create high energy. Master 3 drone movements. Instead of trying to do insane and complex moves all the time, focus on just a few. Master them and execute them perfectly every time before you move on with more creative movements. Changing settings while you're flying. When you fly, you won't always have the right ND filter attached to your drone. And if you're under or overexposed, try to encounter that by either pushing or decreasing your ISO and shutter speed. ND filters. Speaking of ND filters, never leave your house without them. Nothing more to say here. Location research. To save time, when you arrive on any new location, do some research and figure out which shots you want to get or what's even worth capturing. Maybe you can even get more information with specific daytimes or angles. Knowing what to capture when you arrive is a pro tip. Create a shot list. Another time saver to achieve maximum efficiency is a rough shot list with 3 or 4 of your favorite drone movements. Combined with the previous tip of location research, things like these will give you some extra time, and sometimes this saved my ass when I just had a few minutes or even only one try to get a specific shot before massive crowds joined the game. Talk to other drone pilots. If you see someone flying around you, talk to him. Maybe you can learn something, and maybe he has nice tips of good spots or locations. Capture photos. Before you press record to shoot a video, maybe take a quick photo. This could be good for thumbnails, and besides your camera, you can get more photos from unique angles and different perspectives. If you like this video so far, please consider to leave a like or a comment. I would highly appreciate that. Now let's move on. Turn off your obstacle sensors. This is essential if you are going for riskier shots or fly through tight spaces. By turning off your obstacle sensors, your drone won't correct the flight path. But obviously, you have to take extra care, since this is the #1 drone killer. Have enough batteries. Yes, this sounds obvious, but is super important to mention. There were countless scenarios where I was traveling and drove around for hours without having the option to charge my batteries. And nothing else is more frustrating than carrying around your drone without the ability to actually fly this thing. Be able to charge your batteries fast. Additionally to the last tip, you should always be able to charge your batteries as fast as possible. In my case, I bought this fast charging cable from DJI. The batteries are fully charged 3 times faster. It's not that expensive, but makes a huge difference. Use the Cine, normal and speed mode. For slower and cinematic movements, you obviously want to use Cine or normal mode. But if you are high in the air and there's only little movement in a shot, you want to switch to speed mode. Hyperlapse function. Getting hyperlapse shots is another way to achieve epic and stunning footage. If you want to know how to exactly set up a hyperlapse, I made a very detailed video about this topic. Link is in the description. Avoid auto mode. The problem here is that you will face inconsistent exposure. This not only looks awful, but it automatically exposes you as a beginner. And of course, you don't want that, right? Practice, practice, practice. If you're just starting out or bought a new drone for your next trip, practice around your home as often as possible to get confident and well prepared for your next flights. White balance. Here I would rely on the white balance sheet for different times of the day. But if you don't know which white balance you are working with, just press on auto and back to manual. This way you lock in the right white balance for this specific scene or camera angle. Have a subject. If you're able to include a subject in your shot, it's always looking way more engaging and epic if you bring in a main character. Sound design. To bring life to your videos, always add sounds like water, wind, birds, and maybe some risers or whooshes if it matches the visual experience. Follow the drone laws. Always inform yourself about the drone regulations for the place that you're flying. Different cities or countries may have different regulations, and you should always respect them. For those who don't know this, inside a plane, the drone has to be carried in the main luggage, and the batteries have to be inside the passenger cabin. Always carry extra propellers. Maybe you will crash, maybe you will have to replace them. Have them with you all the time to avoid surprises. Calibrating your drone. I really don't know if this is important at all, but I always calibrate my drone when I arrive at completely new locations. Maybe you feel safer afterwards, maybe your home point is more accurate, just do it. Return to home. Always make sure that your home point is up to date and set the return to home function high enough to avoid crashes when the drone is flying back. Don't forget to update your home point if you move during a flight. The quick modes options. There are many quick modes options on most of the drones, so you should make use of them, especially as a beginner. Learn how to color grade. To get the most out of your drone videos, you obviously need to learn how to actually edit them. You can find many and very detailed videos about my exact color grading workflow on my channel, so check them out if you're interested. Balancing camera and drone shots. If you're also shooting with a camera besides your drone, try to improve your story. Get some shots of yourself setting up the drone, maybe some faster close-ups, another shot where you hold the drone, you get the point. Foreground elements. Foreground elements are another very helpful way to enhance your shot quality. Like I mentioned before, leading lines, foreground elements, characteristics of a location, things like these are the real key to capture great drone shots. If you're still here, you're really killing it. You are the reason why I keep pushing and make videos like these. I hope you got some value out of it, and I really appreciate your stay. Thank you. Always create depth. When you're shooting vast landscapes, always try to compose your shot that you have the biggest amount of depth. This way, everything appears bigger and it just looks way more epic. ISO settings. To avoid grainy footage, either on cameras or drones, try to shoot at the lowest ISO possible. Shoot in 30 FPS. Shooting in 30 FPS gives you the ability to slow down your footage to 80%, which not only enhances your shot duration, it's also a great way to add a little more stabilization to a shot. Make use of grid lines. Very important for a good composition and framing. Grid lines are more or less always crucial whenever you capture photos or videos. Avoid flying over mountains. Sometimes it may lead to a bad signal, sometimes even to connection loss. And trust me, this could cause sweaty situations, so try to avoid them. Avoid rain. Even if some drones are capable to resist rain to a certain degree, don't take the risk of getting your drone damaged. Use the color assist option. This is the perfect way to roughly get an idea of how your footage will look like in the edit. Use zebra levels. If you overexpose an image, zebra levels are an instant indicator, and they should be used all the time. Sit down. Get comfortable as much as possible. This way you have much more control on your controller knobs. Avoid flying in heavy wind conditions. Heavy winds could make it hard to come back if your drone is directly facing headwind. Sometimes you might miscalculate the time it needs to get back, and this could be an expensive mistake that you should avoid at all costs. Turn on the map. By having a look on your map, you can quickly check where you are if you are far away, and in which direction you have to fly when flying back the drone if it isn't in direct eyesight. Have fun and enjoy flying. This sounds obvious, but having a good time while you're flying a drone will lead to better results. The last tip is to watch this video over and over again. Let all of everything I just told you really sink in and get confident the next time you're flying.